Welcome to the first video of Such Sports. This is going to be a 12-team PPR mock draft. We're going to enter the draft immediately, but this channel will be primarily set around fantasy football, NFL content, and NBA content as well. And today we're going to start with a 12-team PPR mock draft where we have the first overall pick, and we'll be drafting in a minute. So the strategy here will be to take the best player available in PPR, Jamar Chase, and then go from there. So we're gonna sit here and wait for the draft to begin. But this mock draft is just one that's taking place in July. So again, before training camp. So we'll have to see how the draft falls, especially a month before, well, a month and a half before the season starts. So goal of this is just to experiment with who falls in round 2 and 3 at the turn. There's gonna be a lot of guys that do fall because there's multiple teams on auto pick as it's off time hours for a mock draft. So we're gonna take Jamar Chase here with the first pick. It's gonna be hard to pass up on Bijan. I do like his upside for this year in terms of opportunity, volume he'll receive. Sound, but Jamar Chase is gonna be the first pick. I'm not gonna waste anyone else's time. Um, I do like Bijan as the top running back outside of Saquon and maybe Gibbs. Um, Gibbs more or less because they lost Ben Johnson. I think his production could slightly decrease. Saquon, well, he was what the RB2 overall. So I think Gibbs was RB1 overall because he had 3 touchdowns in the final game or 2 touchdowns in the final game. That's what pushed him over. Um, but regardless, those two will have a great season again, and Bijan I think will at least equate what they produce. So with Jamar Chase at one, and one flex league, by the way, I think it's six bench, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I can't really tell. 5 or 6 bench, yeah. Yeah, but I think the goal is to just get either two running backs at the turn, depending on who's available. I mean, I don't think Derrick Henry, McCaffrey, none of them will fall. Maybe Bucky Irving. I mean, it's auto pick, so Bucky Irving won't be there, but hoping for at least 1, 2 RB1s, RB2 caliber players to fall, which is very likely. But yeah, I'm just looking at the bench. It's actually 7 bench. Okay. Um, and then quarterback, if Lamar is there, we'll end up taking him um in round 3 just because I like his upside, as anyone would, as it's Lamar Jackson. Um, but yeah, the goal of the channel is just to produce as much as content as possible. That's going to be what the goal is. Just content, content, content. So we'll wait here for our next selection. And if there's any content that you like to see, I know this is the first video, I'm probably gonna get 5 views, but um, just drop a comment or yeah, email, message, whatever works. But I'll be producing at least 1 to 2 videos a week as a postgrad from a college. Yeah, let's get started. Even the postgrad from college, definitely not right. It's definitely as a recent college grad. That's the better way to put it. Yeah. But yeah, in the NFL begins in about a month and a half. Preseason is in about 10 days. So we'll see how the first preseason game goes. Hall of Fame game. I'm not gonna be watching it. It's the Hall of Fame game. I mean, let's be real. But preseason, I'll be tuned in for some of the games, not all, as much as time I have to watch some preseason. But yeah, I guess I could watch it. Yeah. All right, we're at the turn here. There's Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Vlad McConkey. Um, but yeah, I do encourage people to watch the Hall of Fame game. I'm just not gonna be watching. James Cook is available. Okay, this is gonna be a tough situation. I'm looking at Brock Bowers, the tight end one projected. James Cook in round 2, I don't love, but I wouldn't mind it. Lamar would be great, but I don't really know if I'm gonna go that route, especially if the running backs are falling. Okay, we're gonna go with either running back receiver with this pick. I mean, we have back-to-back picks, so we can take our time here. Actually, it's only 30 seconds. Okay. I do like Terry. Brock Bowers is there, but if we want the tight end now, I mean, he'll cook with Gino, so could take him. We could go an interesting strategy. I'm gonna take Brock Bowers, and then we're gonna have another pick, but um, we could go to the strategy of taking Lamar here and then just going after best position, best player at each position, but then they'll be punting on running back. So we're gonna go zero running back with this strategy. This may not work out. I'm just gonna say it now. Um, so we're gonna get Lamar. Um, this draft itself is not what I would do in a traditional draft, but since it's a mock draft, we can just experiment, go zero RB, take risks because it's not actually a league. I'm not saying you should take Lamar round three, round pick one, even though that I think he would exceed that value since he was the number one player overall in fantasy football last year. Um, but this is not what I would do. It's just an experiment of what could happen in a draft. I mean, we did technically just get QB one, receiver one, I believe receiver one, and I believe tight end one. So not the worst start to a draft by any means. Just not what I wouldn't take Lamar with that pick. Given the board, it was fine, but I don't know. Um, I would take him in round three, pick two, whatever. But like in that situation, I didn't want to take Bowers and Lamar because, well, even though I did, I wanted to take a running back or receiver, but I didn't like too many of them on the board outside of Brees Hall, McLaurin. I did like Mike Evans, even though he's gone. Well, Mike Evans is still there actually, but he will probably be gone at my pick. I imagine Garrett Wilson would be amazing here, so I can go zero RB and hopefully get Garrett Wilson. I don't know. Um, but yeah, if one of Mike Evans or Garrett Wilson is here because Justin Fields feeds one receiver, and we saw that with DJ Moore in Chicago. We didn't really see more than 6 games of Fields, I believe, 5 or 6 games of Fields. I could be wrong. It could be more or less plus or one minus one game. Um, but yeah, it's looking like we'll get Garrett Wilson or Marvin Harrison here. No Mike Evans, unfortunately, but that's fine. And then for the second pick, we can go Cortland Sutton. Quinshon Judkins, I'm not sure what his suspension is going to be looking like, so I'm not going to take him. Yeah, it's just a mock draft. So it doesn't really matter at all. But I think zero RB is the way to go with this mock draft, especially if we can get Garrett Wilson. That would be at that point you're getting two receivers that can get fed the ball. Like you're talking 10, 12 targets a game. I mean, if Fields even throws that much, I don't know. We'll see if Wilson will get 10 targets a game. I'm not sure. I mean, they don't have anyone besides Garrett Wilson. So yeah, we're gonna take Garrett Wilson. I think him falling to us in round what four, end round four. I think it's good value. Again, we can get Chuba Hubbard, which would be pretty good. They have a backup. They got Rico Dowdle. They signed him, I believe, to at least a 1 or 2 year deal. It could be more. I don't know. But looking at running back, only 10 seconds. So I'm gonna take best player available and just go Chuba Hubbard. Not the pick I want to make, but first running back in round five, we'll take it. Now down the board, we're looking at Zay Flowers as a flex. I think all the Ravens will just have a big year. They're pretty poised for a Super Bowl push. I mean, we said that every year, but I think we'll say this is the year again. But um, I think up arrow on the Ravens just likely will have a solid fantasy season. I mean, he's a backup tight end, but I think he definitely is the best backup tight end in the league by far. I mean, unless you're counting Freiermuth in Pittsburgh, who's pretty good, and I'm probably missing a few guys, but I think yeah, likely he's the most talented backup tight end in the league, and you can honestly start with Mark Andrews if we're being real. Trayvon Henderson, as a Patriots fan, I do like and PPR. I think he'll outperform Ramondre Stevenson in PPR, even as a rookie. I think it's tough to determine what the backfield's going to look like with the McDaniel's scheme because McDaniel's will use multiple running backs. So we'll see how the split is between Ramondre and Travion. But I think Travion's going to take over the job at some point, even as a pass catching back and someone who's really good in pass pro as well. So he'll be used on third down a lot. Um, Looking like we can get a decent running back. Um, if not, I could just go with flex, the best flex available. Tatura McMillan could be solid. I do trust Bryce Young to put up at least give one receiver a good fantasy outlook. So I think Ty McMillan will be that one. But the Panthers are in an interesting spot with their offense. So see Matthew Golden, I do like. At this spot, it seems a little early, but I mean, I would be fine with taking him. It's just a mock again. Um, but I guess I'd be pretty happy with this team. I mean, Chuba Hubbard as RB1 is a little questionable, but I think also produce 1,000 yard season is definitely possible. And definitely plausible at that. Especially in round five, it's not the worst. Travis Hunter, I'm not sure. I have no idea how he's gonna perform. Like, could not ask me how he's gonna perform. I think he'll go to his projection. I think he'll produce that. He's going a little high, um, but it makes sense. We'll see how much receiver he plays and running back, and I don't know how much I can use him as running back as a rusher. So, I mean, like, I don't think that many sweeps or tosses, so he'll probably be a receiver just because of his speed so versatile. I would use him in the run game as well, just on like a toss trick play or something. But we'll see how much they do. Probably not gonna want to get injured if he's playing cornerback, receiver, and I don't think they'll want him playing that many positions. Um, yeah, Travis Hunter's available. I'm not gonna take him. McMillan would be good as a flex. Chris Olave, I don't trust the quarterback situation there, and he's too injury prone. I think he's very talented, but quarterback situation New Orleans is not the best. So, well, it's probably the worst, but Tip McMillan would be good as a rookie. My flex, I want to go with that. You know what? We're gonna double down on the rookies unless I find someone that I like here. Debo would be great. Jacoby Myers, I do like a lot. With Geno Smith at QB. So I can honestly just get him later. Is there any running back that I like here? Not really. I mean, Javante is whatever. I guess we're gonna double down on receiver and take two rookie receivers. This is an interesting draft strategy going for upside with Tyke McMillan and Matthew Golden, but it could pan out. I mean, it could not. I still don't have a second running back, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, Ramondre Stevenson's still there. Um, that's probably like the last starting running back that could put up okay numbers. Just yeah, that's really the last one. I guess Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. If you like Eckler at PPR still, I mean, you could take him as a backup. I wouldn't start him, even though I might have to in this mock draft. But I think I like my team to an extent so far. It's not the best team for sure. Let's pick one. You can definitely do a lot better, but I think I like the start with Chase, Bowers, Lamar. Not that's something I would do in a real draft, but I did just get the number one QB receiver and tight end in fantasy football. So, oh, from last year, I'm not going to project on this year because I don't think all three will finish at one in their respective spots. If they do, then I mean it's possible, but not likely given the odds. Just of three guys repeating number one. Yeah. But we're gonna go running back and receiver in the next turn. And you're gonna see a lot of running back receiver in the next few rounds taking darts on guys like honestly Trey Harris down the board as a late round pick could be interesting. The Chargers don't have so much information on them, but the Chargers have no one to receiver besides McConkey, and McConkey's great, but they need to give Herbert another option outside of McConkey. McConkey's great, and he is definitely a top receiver in fantasy this year, just because he'll be fed the ball, but they have to add in that department. Jacoby Myers is great here. Maybe not in PPR, but honestly, he could still put up a ton of PPR. Debo, I like this year, despite the fat allegations. Yeah, I think we'll go Debo or Jacoby Myers here. Yeah, the next two picks, one of those two, and then maybe we can grab another running back. Browns and Eckler still there. So we go from here, round eight. So we're not looking at like guys that are gonna go drafted, or there's no, I guess no one falling dramatically. I would say Debo and Jacoby Myers are falling at this point, but round nine for Jacoby Myers is pretty solid, even in PPR. I feel like he was solid in PPR. Um, he definitely was. He got 7 catches, nine. Yeah. I mean, this is not bad for at this point in the draft. Figuring someone that's putting up 13 points, 10, 13, 17, that's a consistent flex. I think I'd take that. I think I'd start Jacoby Myers over Tevin Bill in week one. Um, even though this is just a mock. Diggs is a Patriots fan. I don't know how to feel about him this year. He's going to be coming off an ACL or Achilles injury. I forgot which one, but um, I could see 800 yards, a couple of temper tantrums. Not too many this year, but a couple of temper tantrums. Um, we're gonna go Jacoby. I think that's the right pick, even though the second running back. And then Eckler versus B Rob. I mean, this isn't a great spot to be in for your second running back, but and avoiding second running back this late is not ideal, by the way. I would not do that in a real draft, even though this is technically a mock for what I'm supposed to be doing. Um, Brian Robinson is not great for fantasy at this point. Tyrone Tracy, they got Cam Scatterbo, so I don't know how he's going to do this year, but may have to pick someone. Just go Tracy as RB2. Not great, but the rest of the team hopefully will make up for it. And always, if this is a real team that you have, you can always make a trade. I mean, you can trade Wilson for a running back if you feel confident in Myers, Golden, McMillan. You can trade Chase for a haul. I mean, if you really want to trade the best receiver, then you can do that. But yeah, at this point in the draft, just going on dart throws for the bench. So we're gonna be looking at guys like Igbuka, receiver 3, and Tampa will be okay, but not that, maybe not this early. Diggs won't be available, obviously. Um, Jack Beck, I don't know too much info on him, so maybe we can take a dart throw on him. But yeah, at this point in the draft, you want to go for high upside. Ayuk actually, I'm not sure what his injury is. He's definitely back, but yeah, he's placed on the pup list. Okay, so maybe he's not available immediately, but Niners are going to be health dependent as they are always. Yeah, Trey Harris I like deep in the draft. Drake May would be a good value pick deep as a backup quarterback. Defense I would wait, but I do like a lot of defenses, including the Broncos. Well, there's always defenses to like, but I like Denver defense just because they're so talented. Jahade Barron was a great first round pick. I do like for week one the Ravens for the Bills, so that wouldn't be great. Vikings for the Bears, don't like that. I don't love that Vikings Bears matchup, so I wouldn't go with them. Tampa's Atlanta, I wouldn't touch that for week one because Atlanta can score. Dallas plays Philly, not touching that at all. But yeah, in terms of defense, it's a little early to look at. I'll probably go with the next turn for defense. Kicker gonna take last. I mean, I can get someone decent. But yeah, this fantasy season will be interesting as always. I feel like I did okay with this draft. Would have definitely liked RB2 is definitely weak. Chuba is solid, but not a. I mean, he can. I think he'll at best finish as a lower end RB1, high end RB2. I mean, that's his probably his ceiling for this year. But Panthers offense should be approved. I'd give this draft like a 6 out of 10. I mean, I got my receiver. My receiver room is stacked. I think quarterback is great, tight end is great, running backs are weak. So I think 6 out of 10 is fair for this draft. Maybe 5 out of 10. But it's definitely not one of the worst teams. I'll have to check out the other teams, but I definitely don't think it's one of the worst teams in the draft. I think it's like a middle of the pack team at least. So we'll see. But Jordan Mason's okay. Aaron Jones starting in Minnesota. Adam Thielen, no, I'm not gonna take Adam Thielen. Denver defense is something I'm eyeing. At this point of the draft, I could take Denver. That's a consistent. I honestly think they're gonna put up in ESPN rules, or I guess fantasy settings, 8 10 points. Denver defense will be great. Outside of their tough matchups against Kansas City and Philadelphia, and I think they have a couple other. I mean, Commanders they play as well, so the top offense there. Um, this draft, let's see this first round. Excuse me, Jaden Higgins, Tootin. Can take a risk on Tootin, even the VT guy. So Buka, Tootin at this point, yeah, why not go with Tootin? Need running back help for sure. I mean, there'll be someone that arises. Brandon Ayuk, Tucker Kraft, probably go Ayuk, even though he's injured. Kyle Williams, a good pick here at this point. Drake May. Dak Prescott's a great pick here down the board. Yeah, I do like Kyle Williams. Taking Denver defense this early is a risk, but I'm willing to take where they go. Where they go. Denver, Denver, Denver. I might have to pick someone random. Okay, I can't find Denver, so I'm just gonna let it auto pick, but I can Google whatever. Denver they might actually got taken right before me. Never mind. I was looking at the draft feed, this like whole draft. So we'll look at the other teams. Just I believe this is B John. There's no way it's definitely B John. This team is disgustingly bad. I mean, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, and Lad McCollum. Lad McCollum is good, but Receiver 2 and 3 are Dunze and Worthy. Murray's decent, good for fantasy, but I don't know. Don't like that team that much. Broncos defense is good, obviously. Fields, yeah, fine. Saquon, Jacobs, Hill, Marvin, Laporta, Cup. This is a solid team. Cup might be a little washed, but yeah. Jack's scary team. I'm just not even. I'm just gonna wait and just take whoever. I'm on auto, so I'm gonna disable that. But Burrow, Gibbs, James Cook. Yeah, this is probably a solid team. I mean, Javante is not great, but whatever. Um, actually, Javante's terrible. Let's just be real. Javante's terrible. Herbert, Kyron, Chase Brown, Jefferson, Moore, solid team. Not the best, but solid. May, McCaffrey, Walker, London, Evans. This is a good team. I like the receivers. How it's spread out between London and Evans. You get receiver ones, and then you get a good, one of the best receiver twos in the league in Smith. And you get McCaffrey, who is upside for RB, top three RB potential, assuming, I mean, health is always the biggest concern, but especially with McCaffrey. But I'm just gonna take a shot on Kyle Williams, and then I'm gonna take another shot on, let's see, the QB I like it. Still available. Stroud will have O-line issues, but that'll be fine, I think. Any RBs I like handcuff or B John, not gonna touch that, even though it's an option. Um, yeah, running back's pretty scarce here. Receiver, I can go another one, but that's a lot of receivers. Backup tight end, I could go back up QB. I could take it back up to Lamar. With CJ Stroud at this point, round 13 is not bad. But yeah, at this point in the draft, I mean, I don't really. I just wanted to see the first 8 to 10 rounds, and then I mean, bench you can formulate your own strategy, but I would just go for upside on bench. This is a solid team. I don't see a team that's standing out as this is actually probably the best team as I say that now. Mahomes is fine. Judkins Henderson's obviously risk at running back. They get two rookies, but they should be in the mid-season. This is a okay running back core. Amon-Ra Brian Thomas is amazing. That's the best receiving core outside of, I mean, Chase and Wilson versus those two. Yeah, that's probably the two best. And then he has Higgins as well. Um, Bo Nix, Bucky, Kamara. This is also a really solid team. This is probably one of the better teams. Pollard I don't love, but um, him and Spears could be okay receiving threats with Cam Ward as a rookie who like to target um, just running backs and tight ends out of the backfield or just in general tight ends. Hurts, Mixon, Montgomery. It's not that great of a team. Caleb Johnson, is that the flex? Okay, whatever. I don't love this team either. I mean, Daniels, this is a solid team. Waddle is your receiver. Waddle and Flowers as your receivers. I love the running backs, so I don't love the. I don't hate it, but the receivers are terrible, dude. Okay, and then Michael probably is a solid team. Marion Hampton's RB2 is solid. Swift as your flex is whatever. I mean, at this point, we'll go take more dart throws. So Blake Corum, and then we can go defense. The Jets play the. I'm not taking the Jets defense. Packers play the Lions, Dolphins. Who do they play week one? Dolphins, Dolphins, Dolphins. They play the Colts. Okay, that's okay. Colts for the Dolphins, yeah. Um, It's tough to go with something. I'm gonna go I'm take a risk and go. Who did the Chargers play week one? I don't remember, but I'm gonna take a risk on the Rams defense against the Texans and believe their D line just crushes their O line. Um, but yeah, at this point, I'll take a kicker. And I like this team. Taylor, Neighbors, McLaurin is a good start. Marion Hampton's solid. So I guess this is a pretty balanced league in terms or draft. I feel like I didn't do much better than the other teams, but I feel like I got my guys that I wanted: Lamar, Chase, Wilson, Bowers. So I think I did okay. Kicker, I'm gonna just take whoever, but that was the mock draft, guys. I think I did middle of the pack, if not maybe a little better. Maybe I'm giving myself a little too less credit, but I think I got a solid draft. Running backs are definitely a weak point in this mock draft, but I think this mock draft is solid. You can probably make the playoffs with this team. Um, we'll see. I mean, Garrett Wilson, Chase Lamar, Bowers, that's four great players, and then Chuba, solid. Bench is a lot of start throws, a lot of rookies in the bench. So we'll see how this would play out. But that's the mock draft, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next mock draft.